Mr. Chairman, and I very much appreciate the opportunity that you've given our committee to hear from these witnesses and to discuss this very important matter. I'm going to continue with some of the comments and questions that were raised by Senator Cardin. Secretary Sherman, will the Biden administration misuse this AUMF?
No, sir.
Good. Senator Cardin indicated that this should be repealed and replaced. And I'm focused on the word replaced. There have been efforts to try and narrow and replace these AUMF in the past. Senator Corker, when he was chairman of this committee back in 2018, brought forward such a revision, didn't make it out of committee. Going back to 2013, President Obama sought an AUMF with regards to Syria. That, of course, was not successful on the floor. I'm concerned that the prospect of this body ever approving an AUMF to deal with the ongoing threat represented by ISIS, the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and other like groups would never pass this body. And that in addition to the comments and the concerns that were raised by the ranking member, with which I concur, that the idea that somehow we're going to come up with some new AUMFs is just not realistic. And I think about a scenario, perhaps, yes, certainly the president has Article 2 power to defend our troops and to defend against imminent attack of the United States. But let's say he continues to withdraw, or a president continues to withdraw troops from Afghanistan and Iraq, and we have no troops in Afghanistan and Iraq. And ISIS goes on a rampage and starts expanding territory and wiping out individuals there. Or for that matter, that in Afghanistan, that the Taliban routs the democratically elected government and starts killing women and children. Would we, under Article 2, have legal authority to go in if we had no troops there or were not threatened in the homeland?
I would defer to my legal colleagues to answer the legal point there. Your broader point, Senator, about whether we need a new AUMF, we do believe revising the 2001 AUMF is appropriate, and we hope that working together with the United States Senate, that indeed a 2001 AUMF revision can take place. So we fully support your view. That would be a good thing to do.
Quoting a great American, hope is not a strategy. Are there other AUMFs out there that have not been repealed?
No. We have the 2001, the 1991, the 2002, and as you point out, the Article 2 authority of the president, which in fact is most often been used not only by this president, but by the previous president as the basis for taking action.
Given the fact that you're convinced that the Biden administration will not misuse this AUMF, and the fact that we face ongoing threats from various terror organizations, and at least my conviction that it would be very difficult for this body to ever agree to another AUMF absent a threat to the homeland, why do you believe it's necessary for us to remove this AUMF, which has been used by President Obama, President Trump, to defend our interests? I think there's a sense that if the homeland is going to be threatened, that we have every right to step in. We all agree with that. But our interests in the world go beyond protecting the homeland. They also keep bad things from happening and becoming so severe that they draw us in and ultimately do represent a threat to the homeland. So why take the chance that, as the ranking member indicated, that this is misinterpreted in the Middle East? I can't imagine anybody in any leadership position thinks that we're at war with Iraq. It's very clear we're there at Iraq's request, that we're collaborating and helping the government protect themselves from ISIS and protect against the incursion of Iran. That's a message loud and clear. No one thinks Saddam Hussein is still in charge of Iraq and that we're fighting Saddam Hussein. So this has extraordinary potential to be misinterpreted. Why do it now? They're about to have elections in Iraq. Potentially this could be misconstrued and somehow America is pulling away. It just seems like the risk is much greater than the benefit of the nature that you're describing.
I think, Senator, I'm going to defer to my legal colleague on the use of the 2002, though I do not believe that even President Trump used 2002 as the basis for any action he took. The killing of Soleimani was done primarily under Article 2. But to your broader point, the Iraqi government now sees itself as a sovereign country in partnership with the United States and does not wish to have an appearance of the Iraq that is cited in either 1991 or 2002. But let me, if I may, let our acting legal advisor add from a legal perspective the value here.
Thank you, Senator. I think there's maybe a little bit of confusion that is creeping in, and I think that's because we're talking about two AUMFs.
Yes, and that was raised by the chairman and Senator Cardin. So I think in reality we are talking about two. I know it's not literally on the agenda, but that's the case. I know I've gone over my time, Mr. Chairman, so I'll.
But if I may, Senator, the 2001 AUMF obviously authorizes our activities against ISIS and the Taliban. It is a cornerstone of that effort, and I think it's important to recognize what we are talking about in the context of the 2001 is replacing that with a more narrow, specific framework that can ensure that we're still able to carry out that duty. The 2002 AUMF, on the other hand, the AUMF against Iraq, we can continue to conduct our operations, and we can address the ISIS and the Taliban threat.
Even with no troops there? If we had no troops there?
Well, sir, whether or not we have troops there is another question, but without the 2002 AUMF. The 2002 AUMF would not put troops there, it wouldn't take away troops, but it doesn't add any authority, and we don't rely on it for those operations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Just two remarks for the Senator's consideration. I was the author of the 2013 AUMF, then at the request of President Biden.